Hi, this is Diane from dianescards.com and welcome to my newest video series, Quilt Inspired Cards. A few weeks ago I was at a local quilt show. Now I want to be sure to tell you that I'm not a quilter, but I was so inspired and awed by some of the beautiful quilts that were there, and I just love them, and I admire the work and the creativity that go into quilts. And as I was walking around, I realized, I was thinking, I could make a card based on that. And so here I am, using one of the quilts that I saw as an inspiration for a card. Let me show you the first card I created and how it came out. I was pleased with it, I guess. But I want to also show you the quilt that inspired this. So here's a picture of that. And here is a close-up of part of that quilt that actually got me on this particular card. So to create this card, you need the following supplies. A piece of dapper denim, and I cut it at 10 by 5, and then I scored it at 5. That's your card base. You're going to need a piece of scrap paper, Whisper White, for your sentiment. In this case, I used You Are Amazing from Thoughtful Banners, but you could probably use some other things. And then you're going to need a piece of Whisper White that is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, a square. Here's one that I have. All right, and you can see I already embossed it. And then you're going to need a few little squares that I made using the stitched shapes, framelits. I don't know whether you can see, there's little stitch marks there on these two little pieces. These are from the Color Theory Designer Series paper. And then I made 2 squares like this, and then one I stamped just to give it a little bit of interest and make a difference. So here you can see, here's the one that I stamped, here's the one I didn't stamp, here are the 2 pieces from Color Theory. So to actually put this card together, you're going to take your piece of Whisper White, and the other thing you're going to need is some paper from the Wood Textures Designer Series paper stack. You can use whichever ones you want. I kind of like this one. It reminded me of what was in the picture, and you want to make sure that they're all the same side. And I cut them 1/4 inch by 4 3/4. So that we'll need them in a minute. Now, this is the embossing folder that I used, Petal Burst, because I wanted it to have a little texture in the background. If you look at a quilt, you'll see there's all sorts of stitching in the same color as the fabric, and so it isn't always really obvious. But when you're looking at it up close, you can see it. So the Petal Burst folder was the look I was going for, and you'll see that the paper is a little bit wider. In fact, you can see it better on this side. So what you want to do is make sure that you have it centered on here, because what will happen after you emboss, you're going to have a little bit of space on the sides that does not get embossed. I don't know if you can see that or not here, but you're going to glue that down, so that will cover that up. So to put the quilt part on, which is probably what you're all waiting for, you're going to start with the 2 pieces that are the dapper denim. And what I did was I know you're not going to be able to see this, but you have to trust me, I found the middle and put a little line right there. If you have a centering ruler, what you're going to do is just find the center with the 0, and this one actually is on the centimeter side and actually makes it easier. Then put the tiniest little dot. You can use pencil if you want, but pretty much these lines don't show. So you're going to put the one of the dapper denim pieces down, and you're going to find, I have this one marked, and I'm going to put adhesive on the opposite side. So here's my adhesive. So I'm going to match those up. Now, notice these parts at the moment are not adhered. So this part's pretty easy. What you're going to do with this, here's my line, so I'm going to put adhesive here. you're going to take that line, you're going to pull this up and match that little line right there with this other line. So we're going to take this end has the adhesive, and we're going to put that mark so that it matches. Whoops, I'm going to pick up this one. I hope you can see my hands aren't in the way. So now we see actually 3 smaller squares. Now, if you're worried about these little ends flapping up, you can just quickly lift it up and put the smallest bit of adhesive there. But I don't worry about that. So now we've got this part, and I did a sentiment from, as I said, the banners, Thoughtful Banners, and I punched it out with the classic label punch, and I put some of the lovely, lovely, lovely mini dimensionals on the back, and I'm going to put that right there. And I thought, looks nice. There's a little shred of paper there. And I will put it on here. Always put your adhesive on the smaller piece. You know that. Oh, we forgot something. Happened. We're going to take these pieces, put adhesive on it, try to get it up from there, and line it right up with the edge. And before you burnish it, check and make sure that you've got it lined up well. That might be a teeny bit longer on one end. Not always. See, this is why I can never be a quilter. I guess I'm not exacting enough on here. And then I use these glimmer dots rather, and I like to use a pokey tool, a piercing tool. And I just took a variety, and not even all the same size, and just put them around. Have to have an odd number. Let's go with a dark one. Okay. And now we're going to add this to the front of the card. Got all our frames around there. And there you are, our little quilt card. Doesn't look exactly like the quilt, but it is inspired by the quilt. I liked it so much that I decided to make another one, and this time I used the Berry Burst colors. Same papers. This is the same, just changed the color. So this is Berry Burst cardstock on here and a base. And embossed it, just the same thing. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today and that you are inspired to go create a card about something that inspires you, whether it's a quilt or whatever. So next time we'll have a different quilt and a different card. Thanks so much.